up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Is May 27th, not May 26th or 25th or the 28th, but May 27th. It's an awesome day. If you are a space geek like me, today we have a manned space mission to the International Space Station from our friends over at SpaceX. So when you're done watching us, you get about an hour-and-a-half break, then head over to any major network and watch the amazing coverage. I always favor NASA. Go check them out to watch this launch today. It's awesome so far. It's a go 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 1:30 Pacific. You folks in the middle, figure it out. Just go off of those two times. Be fine. It's an exciting day. Like I said, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. That means I, of course, have my awesome co-host with us, the wonderful Jordan Gelber. She'll be joining us in a minute. And I know normally we start the show with news, but we're not doing that today. Got a couple rants for you, and they're important because, well, I'm going to say it because I've been on this earth long enough to run my mouth and say what I want. We got a problem with racism in our country. People are freaking idiots. I could use words, but people probably turn off the show, and then I'd have to put an explicit rating next to it, and Chef Clemenza's not on today. So it's me. So I don't get it, how people justify racism in our country. If you hang anything, a blow-up doll, a person, from a tree with their face stapled to it, that is a hate crime. Don't justify it because people are stressed out right now. They just can't handle everything. If your way of handling stress is throwing your blow-up doll over a tree with a rope around its neck, you need counseling. You're not bored. You need counseling. You probably needed counseling 8 weeks ago before this all started. So please save it's okay because people are stressed out for someone else because it just doesn't go anywhere in our country. Period. End of sentence. Racism sucks. If you're a racist, you suck. There's nothing else there. We've said this for the longest time, and nobody wants to speak out and say it because, we want to point fingers. Well, America, wake up. Stop acting entitled like you're better than everybody else. If you put your pants on the same way I do, which I haven't found anybody putting pants on any different than I do, doesn't matter male, female, what you identify as, what thing you put before your name on your social media account, damn it, you put your pants on the same way the rest of us do. Act accordingly. Quit acting like racist scumbags. Yep, and I'm talking to you, fellow Caucasians. Yep, wear it because we're the embarrassing folks here, folks, lately. We're embarrassing ourselves. First, we're chasing down joggers in 2020 because, hey, jogging and being black in Brunswick, Georgia seems to offend some of the racist white people that live in that town. Thank you. We're not all that way. When I see people running down the street, I don't want to ever hop in my car, grab a gun, and go hunt you down, thinking maybe you might be robbing somebody instead of jogging. You imagine that at a marathon, people chasing people? Like, hey, they could be robbing a store. America, you've lost your damn mind. And it's time for people to bring it back in and sell it and put a bow tie on it. Quit telling everybody, it's going to be okay, and justifying actions. We spend far too much time justifying actions. That's right. Why? Because we have accepted in our country it's okay for that's right, y'all elected his ass. You've accepted that he could go on rants and yell and scream, and some of you probably put your little red hats on and tell us we're all wrong because we disagree with what he says. But again, I've been to the National Archives. I'd like some of you to attempt to even spell the word archive, much less tell me where it's located. Go read the document our forefathers put before us, and it doesn't say that we have to worship the ground that the president walks on. It doesn't say I have to worship a governor, a mayor, anybody. It says that we, the people, I'm one of the damn people, you're one of the people. You have a right to be a free thinker. You have a right to do basically anything you want to do. Yep, in a country where you can burn the flag in front of people who fight for your freedom, you sure as hell could disagree with what the man in the White House says. Because again, he puts his pants on the same way you do. That hasn't changed. Stop with the shit, excuse my French, on media arguing with people because they don't agree with the president of the United States. Because guess what? 4 years ago, people didn't agree with the president of the United States and it was okay. But now, because we have Mr. Sensitive Potato Head in office, we all have to be like, oh my God, we don't want to piss off a Trump supporter. And when did people become sports fans for a president? You guys are embarrassing. Really? Really? The dude's gone in like 4 to 8 years at the most. And you fanboy for a president? Seriously? Now, you want a fanboy? Put shit on your arm. where you freaking support a sports team that actually gives you something back, enjoyment that you can last for years and watch on TV when you're stuck in a quarantine and you want to watch the young Derek Jeter win his first World Series. Yeah, no, instead, we fanboy for a president. Quit being clowns. It's a president. He doesn't give two shits about you. Doesn't even know your name. Stop. Oh, and don't worry, Biden friends. Oh, you're not alone. Your guy's just as wacky as the other. Thanks for your comments on racism there, Joey boy. Maybe you should worry about your son who, that's right, decided that cocaine and the Navy go together. They don't. So neither one of you are qualified to lead my fan down the street, much less the country, yet you all fanboy for both sides. How about we actually get a candidate that we all agree on? That's right. A lot of us like Mayor Pete on both sides of the aisle, but America and its bigotry could not handle someone who has a same-sex husband. Oh my God, it's 2020, not 1950, right? We can cuss and show boobs on TV, on national TV. We sure as hell can elect somebody who sleeps with the same person. It doesn't freaking matter. Are you staying in their house? Stop it, America. We look like entitled boobs to the rest of the country. We have a boob for a president that we allowed to get on Twitter and make a fool of all of us. That's right. He represents all of us. So I don't agree it when the man goes on and calls people losers and types like my freaking 13-year-old. My 13-year-old has an excuse. He's 13 and doesn't know better. Whoopsie, you do. You're a grown-up and the leader of the free world. You talk smack on generals and anybody else you don't agree with because, good Lord, if anybody says you're wrong. Oh, and media, you're not forgiven either in this rant. You're just as guilty because you don't cover the news anymore. You're obsessed. You're obsessed on some man's every move. I get it. We love following what the presidents do. And yes, we used to get used to it with New York media crapping on all their athletes, the great Carmelo Anthony, A-Rod, you name it. If you do anything to burn the New York media, they'll be the first ones to burn you back. If you suck, we're going to let you know it. Now everybody's running with it. That's right. He's the president. You don't have to like it, and we don't expect you to like it. But hey, you have a right to vote. One of the few countries that gives you that right, and we don't force you to vote. We're like, hey, if you want to vote. But what we're going to talk about today might make you feel uncomfortable. It's going to talk about social media. Jordan and I are going to cover the do's and don'ts. And then we're going to bring on a guest who's going to tell you what we can expect for these 2020 graduates that are coming out of college. That's right. We have a 2020 graduate who just graduated. It's going to tell us what she's expecting to see in the coming days and future for herself and her peers as they're going to go try to find a job, number one, in this crazy ass economy, two, with the whack jobs that are both running for the White House, and the fact that everybody seems to think that DC isn't slimy. Come on, DC and Hollywood could double for Harvey Weinstein's wet dream. Let's all face this fact, folks. DC's far from, oh, we're perfect. No, instead we all fanboy up and we get all stupid for a president, or we get stupid for a candidate. Let's knock that nonsense off first, America. But before you do that, how about you take your racist crap and throw it out the door? Those ancestors are long dead and gone who thought that this is the way that we're supposed to behave. It's 2020, America. Wake up. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to swipe on by this show and not come back. But if you do like what you're saying, what I want you to do is I want you to smash that subscribe button if you want to hear more. I'm not going to sugarcoat my rants ever. No matter what sponsors we get, I will speak the truth as an American who's lived on this earth for almost 45 freaking years, and I'm sick and tired of seeing stupid behavior. And everybody, wait a minute, before we go there, no, we're not attacking millennials on this. It's everybody, every age group, every bracket. Some of y'all just don't get it. Some of you don't. And you make excuses for people like, oh, I justify hanging something from a tree. You know what you hang from a tree? A bird feeder, not a blow-up doll. Plus, these back-asswards, it's the 3%ers too. Last rant before we move to the co-host. If you don't know what a 3%er is, how do I put this? A 3%er is wannabes. You know those guys that walk up to you, vets, you'll know what I'm talking about. The guys that walk up to you and go, you know, I almost joined the military, but... right? You know who I'm talking about. I almost joined, but yeah, know what they turn into? These guys. Look, I got my weapon. I'm standing in front of your home with my weapon. Why? What are you worried about? You think you bring your gun to his house? It's going to make him be, oh crap, he's got a gun. You went to a governor's house and you hung a blow-up doll in front of children. great influence, by the way. You hung a blow-up doll above on a tree in front of someone's house to prove your point that you feel that your freedoms are being infringed. Well, moron, you got to go do that because, hey, we couldn't do anything. We can't, unfortunately, arrest stupid people. Our prisons would be full. Instead, what do? We prosecute people for marijuana laws in our country because we still treat marijuana, that's right, like it's heroin. Sorry. How many people do you see the police going after, that are high on marijuana, that are avoiding arrest, fighting the police? And before we get off that, we do have it in the news, and you're damn right, I'm going there. In Minnesota, they fired 4 white police officers for brutality. Now, as you all know, and it's well documented, I have mad love for our first responders, and I have mad love for the badge. That doesn't mean that every single person who puts on the badge, like everybody who puts on the uniform, is some patron saint of, oh my God, we can't go there. I've seen my fair share of Marines, sailors, soldiers, airmen, and coasties go to the brig and get booted out of the military for bad behavior. Same thing goes with the badge. Same thing goes with firefighting. Same thing goes as physicians. You could talk about it. It's okay. What these gentlemen did was against the rules, and they were rightfully fired. Don't go out there and justify, you don't know the whole story. Someone died. Don't justify their actions. Now, protesters, you're not off the hook either. Did you think I was supporting you? That's funny. No, you're not getting it either. So you think because to prove your point, you need to go loot, throw rocks, break, and vandalize property. You are covered under the Constitution. You have a right to protest. You certainly do. But the word is peacefully. Doesn't give you a right to throw Coke cans and everything else. Because my dear friends here in Portland, we have Antifa. Oh, yes. Our friends who live in their parents' basements, dress in all black, use freaking garbage cans as shields and throw Pepsi cans at the police, and then go whine to the ALCU because, they arrested us and threw tear gas at us. Well, you threw rocks at them. What did you want them to do? Not fire something back at you? It's not how it works. Now, the problem we have is we have cities full of weak-ass politicians who don't want to stand up and protect the police or protect the citizens that duly elect them. Again, America, quit acting entitled. Let's start cleaning house. It starts at the top and clean out city by city these idiot politicians who are fed by money, not by their electoral votes, to get the job done. Not everybody that backs the badge is a good cop. Not every firefighter is good. Not every correctional officer is good. Not every person in the military is good. Does that mean they're all bad? Absolutely not. We have some of the finest people in law enforcement that I sleep soundly at night because I know that they're on my side. And we have amazing men and women defending our freedom every day. And I love every one of them to death. Now, the crappy ones, they get sorted out. That's my rant for the day. Act accordingly, America. Now, let's bring my co-host in because now I'm done ranting. So let's bring in the wonderful Jordan Gelber and let's get on with the rest of the show. Woo! As Ric Flair would say.
Oh,
that was fun. I had to get that off my chest. All I've read today is just all this hate. And then I made a post on Facebook and I was like, wait a minute, I don't need to respond. I have a show.
That's true. I felt it though. I'm good. I felt it though. You were like, it was so built up and then it's just you had to let it, you know what? Thank you for saying all that you said today. Someone had to say it. Someone had to have the balls to say most of what you said, if not all of what you said.
It mesmerizes me. So many people sit here and they're just quiet about all the issues. Oh, we can't talk about it. Can't talk about it. I'm like, why? Why can't I talk about it?
Oh, you can't
why are we censored?
No, what I love is like you either can talk about the fact how COVID's affecting America or you can talk about racism. You can't talk about them both at the same time. And you can't talk about, if you talk about one, you're not giving enough attention to the other. If you talk about just COVID, you're a racist. Like, honestly, guys, a lot of bad stuff is happening. You need to just be aware of it and like grow some and make a difference. Honestly.
We act entitled. I think that's the problem, Jordan. And people are like, it's 100%. Millennials. And I'm like, nope, it's not millennials. Oh, it's Xers. Nope, it's not them. Oh, it's the boot. Nope. It's in general so entitled, like, oh, I have my rights. You're right, you do. Oh, but these people are eating in a restaurant and I'm not eating in a restaurant. Okay, well, where do you live? Well, I live in New York City. Okay,
That's
let's play population density game.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da! You have more people than we do. But I mean, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to talk about social media later, but I mean, let's talk about it a little bit now because
No, let's talk a little bit, yeah.
So yesterday, the president didn't like, again, what somebody said on Twitter.
Surprise. Surprise.
Shocking. You know,
Shocking.
It's his opinion or no one else's. It's basically like living under my father's rule when I was growing up. It's my way or the highway. I'm the king of this castle. That's how I always feel when the president tweets like he's John Mitchell and he's angry at me and Eric needs to go to his room because I said something that he didn't agree with. Now, my father's a good dude. It's just a rough comparison, but you know, it's one of these things that I just don't get. So anyways, he wasn't happy with it because he was flagged for fake news, not being accurate. Okay, if you're not accurate, you need to be called out for it. Sometimes your shit ain't right. Well, he didn't like that. So him and his creepy son, oh, that kid's creepy. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you like him or not. Come on. Junior's kind of creepy.
We bet just his face.
Come on. He's not a pretty man. Come on. I'm not saying I'm beautiful, but look at that dude. He just looks creepy. He just look at that dude, his hair, everything about him. I'm dripping with sweat from that rant, by the way. You know it was a good rant when you're like, yeah, woo, woo. And I didn't get any hate text messages, so I'm happy. Or they've just written me off today. But so anyway, so the president did this, and then he announced he was so unhappy that he is going to shut down and regulate social media now.
Yes. Good luck. Good luck with that. I really think good luck with that. Like,
how does that work? I don't
know. How do you shut down?
How do you regulate something that you don't own that's not government controlled?
Exactly. I mean, we've been trying to do that for a while, and I don't think anyone's really gonna make it happen. But you do you. You do you.
Well, true. Producer Chris does bring up a good point in the comments that our friends in China, they're kind of renowned for controlling Twitter and Facebook and social media.
So is that where we're going? Is that what we're saying is the okay?
I mean, I'm not accusing us of that because I would never want to see my country become a communist country, but it's quick that everybody, I mean, what I don't understand, and this goes to social, is if you comment on this stuff, Jordan, how quick are people to label you, right? Liberal, conservative, or what is the one for conservatives? I always forget. They're right wing, right? There's liberal and right wing. How come you can't just have an opinion? Why do you need to be labeled? Mm-hmm. I mean, I personally like the label asshole. I'm like, that's what I am. Don't call me a liberal or my identifier. Identify as Dennis Leary. That's how I identify. I'm that guy. I drive in the ultra fast lane. I do. Go slow in the ultra fast lane with a big grin on my face, with EDM blaring in my Toyota. Oh yeah. It's not American. I'm fine.
People need to stop realizing that like social media is not the end all be all of your life. I mean, you could utilize it. It's a great platform. It gives you a voice. Like there's so many great things about it. But at the end of the day, it's become so vapid. And I think we used this word earlier today when we were chatting, but like the sheepleness is just at an all-time high right now. And it's like, you can, just because someone doesn't comment on something doesn't mean they don't have feelings towards it. Like I had someone call me out a few weeks ago because I didn't comment on one of these horrible deaths because of racism at the moment, because I did something stupid on my own personal profile. Like, don't judge me, ask me, have a conversation, stop looking at face value. But the problem is that all these like younger millennial, genial people, this is their only social interaction. So when we were kids, right, we used to go out and hang out with people. Now all they do is talk on social media. So they're so easily offended because they have no other social interaction. And it's like, God, read a book, man. Just read a book. Go have a conversation. I don't understand it. People are crazy.
But that's just how people are. I mean, we get it everywhere. And I just don't understand why social media has become, I remember when we started with social media. I mean, I remember the whole guise of it, right? And it seems in the last few years, social media has become a place where you state your opinion and I love it when people, this is my opinion. And if you differ with their opinion, some people
you cannot be friends with me. I'm going to unfriend you. I'm going to block you.
Right? Like,
block you.
Yeah, I don't like that you're doing it. Or I also like, and we'll get into this when we do our do's and don'ts of social media, but one of my big pet peeves that I've seen on social, especially with it being 2020 election year, is one up, right? The one up. The one up. This is how I know more than you. I'm going to go find some distinct, I don't know, some random stat, and I'm going to throw it in your face, because that's what we do in 2020. We don't have enough to deal with in 2020. I mean, let's see. So far in 2020, we've had our embassy attack. We killed a terrorist. Some people in our country defended the terrorist. I'm still not over that one. I'm like, did we really defend it? We defended a terrorist. Okay. We had an impeachment, and it went exactly like everyone predicted that it would, and, we had that whole debacle. And then we had, the famous press conference where 15 people had tested positive for the coronavirus, and that number would be zero really, really soon. 100,000 dead people later, and our country again went to its all-time low with comparing deaths to horrible tragedies that took place. I know that you are a resident of New York City, so you're familiar with 9/11.
Yes.
And huge loss of life in our country. It's not as bad as 9/11. So that's where we set the bar now, is we just go off of that. That's the bar of death. One person dying is okay. Up to 3,000, I guess the limit is 3,000, and then we're like, shit, maybe. Yeah. I mean, testing for COVID-19 is no joke. It's to even the most fit folks. And I just think 2020 has been one of those years, and I just hope that we can spin around, but instead it just seems to be in this spiral that I just don't understand. I did it. I mean, maybe you could explain it better to me. I mean, for me, I'm looking at a dad, a parent, and a business owner, and I'm like,
yep. I mean, I just want to comment on one thing that you mentioned earlier. Like I've been hearing a lot of people. Like I live in New York. I have not been in my apartment for the last month or so because I had to leave because it was unsafe for me because of the density of it all. And I got quarantined. I did all the right things before everyone comes and hates on me. But I hear people all the time say, "Oh, I think this is a conspiracy that really people aren't getting it." And I'm like, what you don't understand is population density. You just said that. Like in New York City, we live on top of each other. You walk outside, you're hit with so many businesses that are closed. All the restaurants are trying to open now. It's getting hot outside. The parks are the only places to get exercise because you can't have a bunch of people jumping around in an apartment. It's hot. You don't want to be stuck in there. The density is insane. So that whole little, hot pocket is awful, all the boroughs. And then you think about places like in Florida, in the middle of the country and stuff, and they're like, well, let us go back to work. I'm like, you guys aren't that affected because you're more dispersed. Like, you're not understanding, like the metropolitan cities and stuff like that. It's insane. Like, I feel bad. Like, I want to hear more what's happening in Chicago. I mean, look how California cities shut down. It's a big problem. They're commuter cities. Like, understand that we're just trying to make sure it doesn't spread. So I understand you don't like that you have to sit at home right now and maybe not go socialize or maybe not go shopping or whatever it is you want to do. But we're doing that because we're trying to protect a worse spread. And we're also trying to protect us from the fact that it's summer and everyone's going to want to start going outside soon to not have another influx and increase. People gotta I'm sorry math has become such a difficult subject for people, but some of it's just common sense. Comments, go on Facebook, see how many friends you have, see where they all live and how they're affected by it. Just people gotta chill out and have communication and stop dealing with surface level stuff and just understand it's a pandemic. It's affecting the entire world. And you have better things to do than, bitch online about the fact that your job's not open. So do something about that from the comfort of your home and wear a mask.
I think that's why what's interesting, Jordan, is we've entered summer, right? Or it's not officially summer, just to be clear. I know that there's some shows out there. Oh, the summer, dude, summer's in June. It starts June 20th, I believe. Yeah. It's not because Memorial Day is not the equinox. It's not today's summer. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe drink less on your show. And then you know that. But one thing that I always look forward to around this time is graduation, right? And that's the cool thing, right? She's 2 years away from being a senior in high school, which I'm excited for. And, you live for that and you've seen these seniors, whether high school and college. I
Mhm.
think the high school ones, they're probably really afraid, but they hopefully can at least are going to college or whatever they're going to do and have that lined up. But it's our college grads that you look forward to, right? You watch them throw their hats in the air, and then you're like, they're going to go find some great job. Maybe they have a summer internship, and all different now.
Yeah.
It's concerning, right? Because you want to talk to people, and anybody that I've talked to as a college grad, they're like, it's really weird. Like, when do we get to do it? And I know I heard yesterday in New Jersey, the governor said in July, and I don't think he specified in Butch. He wanted to tell me via phone if he has specified in the last 20 years. If they haven't said if it's high school graduations or college graduations, that they'll be allowing to be outdoors and hopefully friends and family. It's the important part. These, I mean, it's dedication, right? High school for some of us, that's not as easy. I mean, it's hard to play sports, party, and go to school. I mean, that's just part of it. And then you go to college, and it's kind of the same trail, right? You work hard, you put in, this is your degree. You're going to get out and go to a job because you've been sold that. As somebody who was in the military, I was sold the same thing by my recruiter. You put on this uniform, you'll get out, people will hire you because they'll say, ta-da, you're in the military. I can assure you that's not true. So it'll be interesting. We're going to bring on our next, I mean, if you want, if you're ready, to bring on our next guest and really get the pulse of what's going on with our current 2020 college grads and where they're at and where they see it. Some of them are amazing hustlers, like who we're going to have on. It's probably not the right word to use, hustler, but she's amazing. She's already created a niche for herself. She is a very big TikToker, all over social media, understands digital marketing. So she's got her foot in the game already, which is impressive. Some folks are like, I don't know. I graduated. What do I do? So at least she, our guest, has this amazing talent that digital marketing and social media and understanding social media, kind of the vibe for Wednesdays is always going to be either social, talking about current events and social, or entertainment. Today, we're going to talk about the employment side of the house, the future, and dive into some do's and don'ts on social. So I think it's time for us to get to the point.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
our
Thank
college
you.
graduate.
It still doesn't feel like it, just because, I mean, as you probably know, there was not an official in-person ceremony, so it's still a new feeling.
How does that feel? Just, I'd love to know what that feels like. You go to school for all this time, and you went to Texas, right? You're a
Yes, University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, I know. So what was that like? I mean, that graduation is supposed to be pretty killer. I mean, my friends tell me Matthew McConaughey shows up, all your guys alumni.
The whole shebang. Yeah, so normally there's 10,000 people in my class, and it's like by the tower, fireworks, crazy. And I mean, we definitely didn't have that, but it was still an amazing experience. We had an online version of like our college graduation and then the entire university one. And so it's honestly just a lot of mixed feelings right now of excitement, also being sad. I moved back home. I'm currently in New Jersey. And so it's mixed feelings. I'm excited, but it also doesn't feel real just because there was no concrete ending. It kind of, at least the way that UT handled it, it went from, hey, we may not come back from spring break. And so we went into spring break. They announced in the middle of spring break that we have an extra week of spring break. And then they go, oh, just kidding, we're not coming back. So it was definitely an interesting transition. And that's overall what I'm getting just from my friends and other people in college right now as seniors. It was just kind of, it was a lot to adjust to and figure out as time went by, definitely.
I got to ask you, I went to school in Manhattan, so I had an entirely different graduating experience in terms of like the volume of my class.
Yeah.
But like for me, all I think about is like that last semester of your senior year.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're anxious, you're excited, but you're also there to prove yourself. I mean, as actors having showcases, sports having like really just trying to make that last semester be the shiny semester. How was that for you? What is your major?
I studied fashion merchandising. And so I'm looking to go into, but my internships have been within post-production and video editing. So I'm hoping to go into more of the video editing side for the fashion industry, whether it's commercials, short form video content across social media. That's my area. But it's definitely been interesting just because normally without COVID, for fashion, hiring it's relatively later. Like one of my roommates is in engineering and is doing engineering for Amazon. And that process happened way into last semester, and that's relatively secure. Whereas for me, it was all supposed to happen in March and April, even though before I was reaching out to people, I had interned at a company for the past like 2 summers. That was going to happen, hopefully get a job there. And then because of COVID, I was interviewing at the point that COVID was really ramping up. I was interviewing at like 3 or 4 places, going well, having multiple rounds, like about to hopefully, like you're waiting for college. You're like, oh, okay, I got this whole degree. And it's supposed to be to then get hired. And then pretty much, at least for the fashion industry, really suffered a lot. And there has been hiring freezes. And so all of the roles that I have been interviewing for hit hiring freezes. And so now it's just a matter of figuring out who to reach out to, networking, but also recognizing that a lot of people that are already in these companies have been either like laid off, furloughed, or they're just not hiring. There's not the opportunity. So it's been interesting attempting to navigate that while also keeping, I guess, my self-esteem up as well, and recognizing that like it's okay. Like this is a crazy time for everyone, and trying to keep persevering through that as well.
I mean, that makes total sense because
Yeah.
I when I started my business, I used to produce independent fashion shows to the public. What people don't
Oh,
understand
cool.
is that, yeah, I mean, what people don't understand is that spring is done in fall and fall is done in spring. So,
Exactly.
This quarantine and the COVID hit the States, I would say right after February Fashion Week in New York. And
Yeah.
I was actually in London at the time. So it was interesting to see how like Fashion Week was spreading because it goes New York and then it goes Paris and all that great stuff. And you have like your merchandising, where you outsource your fabric from, where where you're manufactured. I mean, I can only imagine how
The whole
much
supply
you
chain.
change. So you said that you've been in video and post. That's great. That's like my heartbeat goes there. So that's amazing.
Love
Congratulations.
that. Thank you.
Have you thought that maybe perhaps because it's a unique situation, has this situation helped you more in going after your career, or do you think it's really put a full stop into your dreams?
I don't think full stop. It's definitely a little bit of both. I would describe it as a roller coaster, at least for me personally. I can't speak for everyone, obviously. But for me, it's been certain times of like, okay, let's hustle. Like I've been hustling, I mean, for the past few years, just even before college, trying to get into college. And then now, so it's definitely a mix. There have been times that I'm just down because I was so close to just like finally getting that job. I really worked hard throughout college to get as many internships and opportunities possible to build up my resume for when I move back to New York City and attempting to enter the industry here. So it's definitely a mix. Like there's certain times I was just like talking to my family that I definitely get in a funk and I'm a little like, kind of throw myself a little bit of a pity party. And then the next hour, I'll just be like, okay, know what? It's not time to throw yourself a pity party. Like, it's okay that you had that, but now let's move on from it, keep pushing, and hopefully in a few months, year or so, things will slowly return to normal. So it's just, I don't know. It really varies on the day. Like, check back in with me tomorrow. It may be completely different. So I'm currently trying to navigate it, but I'm definitely overall a positive person. So I'm trying to go in that direction and get somewhere because I know that eventually it'll all be okay, and it's just a matter of time.
That's a good attitude to have. I mean,
I'm trying.
It's hard, right? You get out,
Yeah.
you expect to go one way, but I mean, I think that's life in general. So you get the nice, tough life lesson early in life. You're like,
Exactly.
another lecture from a parent. But it's really
You're good.
true when you think about it. Adapt and overcome is something that I wish that they taught in school, but unfortunately, it's something that you learn in life, where you I always say, discipline over distraction. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what your mission is, and this will end eventually.
Exactly.
And you have to keep pushing forward. And you're allowed to put your head down on some days. You're allowed to. We all have those days where you're allowed to. I mean, we all have them. I know people are like, I'm fine. I've been fine for 8 weeks. And you're like, no, you haven't. It's mentally taxing.
Yeah.
You're stuck in your house. But I just think for you, it has to be really hard because this is supposed to be the fun time, right? I mean, I know I got goosebumps thinking about it. You're supposed to be having fun. This is when
20s
you're
in
like,
the city. That's my thought. That's always been my game plan. 20s in New York City. And then this happened.
Man.
It's like, okay, we're gonna delay that a little bit, but we'll get there.
Just make us feel old. No big deal.
just you know,
No,
wait a few weeks, months. We'll get through it.
Yeah. But it's definitely
talk
been
about-
mixed.
You have an amazing website, and like I said, you have a side
thank
hustle.
you.
Our side hustles. Are we allowed to say side hustle? We're saying side hustle. I called you
Yeah,
up
we'll roll.
earlier.
We'll roll with it.
Hustle.
We'll roll with it.
But so your side hustle is you are a social media maven. I like calling people mavens.
No.
Jordan's like,
Thank
you call
you.
me that. Call me
Thank
the
you.
maven.
So hard.
That's so funny. Yes. I have my roommates make fun of me for it at college because I started it while I was at school. I just came back home, but I got really into, like a lot of people. I mean, I'm 22 and TikTok is meant more for teenagers, and I laughed at it at first and definitely made fun of it. I'm not going to lie. Because one of my roommates got it, and then I got really into it and have been like slowly building a follower base. And so that's been really exciting. It gives me something to do. And also sometimes like I'll edit them on my computer, like in Premiere, just cause. And I'm like, you know what, let me like keep practicing some editing skills. And now a lot of companies on applications for a lot of social media roles are requesting, TikTok knowledge. Like I applied for a job a few months ago before I really got into TikTok that was like asking about, do you know TikTok? Do you know how it works? Like how to efficiently post and create content for it. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I like need to step it up. So here I am now, and trying to get into that realm. And so I'm slowly building my follower base. It's like very gay TikToks. There's a whole side of like gay TikTok. That's great. But it's been really fun getting to do that and then just like practice my skills for eventually creating content for a fashion brand.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok is not just for kids.
Oh no, now it's a whole thing.
For all of us.
Everyone now, I think honestly, TikTok has benefited so much from quarantine. Just everyone's going to TikTok and it's great. It's honest, it's addicting, it's concerning. I spend a concerning amount of time on there, but we're working on it.
So
Have you been able to?
So we'll stay on the TikTok topic real fast.
Yeah.
Who's your who out of all your TikTokers? I'll tell you mine. My favorite TikToker is, well, I watch him a lot on YouTube. Is Trey Kennedy is one. Trey Kennedy. He's
he was on Vine when Vine was a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, well, he just did this great. He just did this great little whatever he calls him, his short film, where he was what if social media was a family, and they pick on Vine. So it's hilarious. Like they've got the YouTuber down perfect, and they pick on TikTok, calling it the new Vine, which is also funny. But I love the You Betcha guy. I forget his real name, but You Betcha. It's based out of Wisconsin. And so he's always like picking on.
Okay, I need to look at that one.
You need to look at it. It's good. And then, of course, TMR, or the Marine Rapper, because he's on our show a lot. He's taken his TikTok from like 0 followers. When he was on here last Thursday, he had 85,000. This weekend, he hit 100K, which is
oh my God. Yeah, I'm like 4,000. 4,500. We're slow. We're getting there.
I'm
Not
at
at that
like
level.
5. I'm at 5.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was
follow
my
you.
quarantine hobby.
I'll follow
Thank
you. I got you.
Hold on. Let me go see how bad mine are. Now you guys, maybe I'm going to shame
I
myself
have
right
to
here.
ask you, Andy, though, like
Yeah.
the unique thing with TikTok, especially because what you want to do you think it's been a really great showcase of your portfolio and your skill set? So
that's another thing. I think in the future, I want to make more videos that utilize editing. And I think it has, just because a lot of times, like during interviews, employers really do look at your social media accounts. And I think that if I get to a point that my follower count gets high enough, like I'll use it more as a leverage and an asset when interviewing, being like, hi, I know how to reach an audience and gear my content towards that, interact with people, edit as well. So I think that it's slowly, hopefully, going to become something that I can publicize and show that, hi, I can build a brand for you through this content and actually reach people and interact with them. I think that's something that's hard and really important today, especially that I've learned through fashion and in college, is that like building a relationship with your consumer. And so I think that it will hopefully eventually be an asset for me when I am interviewing in the future. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
Thank you.
we want to thank you for coming on. And again, congrats. I can speak English, I swear. Congratulations. I swear. Wow. I was trying to
You
say
got it.
congratulations. Another four sentences all at once. Blah, blah, blah. So congratulations again for your awesome
Thank you.
the Aussie thing. And I know, yeah.
Yeah, medal.
You got it. Yeah.
But congratulations. That is seriously an amazing accomplishment. You deserve it. We'll give you we'll cheers for you right now. Everybody
Thank
out
you,
there,
thank
go and follow right now and give a cheer. Everybody cheer. Cheer. The people who are watching, you better cheer. I want to hear cheering.
Cheer.
Thank
Come
you.
on, guys. We're giving you a virtual high five too.
I appreciate
Well,
you. I'll
thank you
virtually
so much.
throw my cap.
There you go. Throw your cap. We love it. So thank you for coming back on. We'll have to have you back on to kind of do a check to see how you're doing, and if there's anything that we can help you with. Go follow you on TikTok. I know I'm going to with me and my 5 followers.
I appreciate it.
And maybe you can follow me back and give me some street cred because I'm bad. It's
I got you. I'll help you out. Give you a shout out.
Nice.
6. 6 people. Jordan's at 5 and she's at 5,000. I'm 5 and meaning 5.
Hi.
5.
Oh my God.
But thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Boom. We're back.
Boom.
And real fast, I know we're getting questions that our YouTube doesn't have a description of today's guest. Patrick McDonald, I promise you, we will update that as soon as the show's over. I don't know how that happened. I'll blame YouTube. YouTube error. That's what we're doing, Jordan. YouTube.
I blame YouTube. I'm with you. I support you in that.
But in our defense, you can go look on our Facebook page and our Instagram, and it's there. So
This is true.
Got
If
you
you
there.
don't follow our Instagram and our LinkedIn and our Facebook, you won't be in the know. So
But he's already
At
smashed the
Midpoint.
subscribe button. But
Okay.
we need everybody else to go smash the subscribe button. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just go up and smash the subscribe button. It should be in the corner. I believe I put it into every video now. But if you're watching us on Facebook, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Tell a friend, and then go follow us on all our social media. Because like Jordan, you can find us at To The Point TV everywhere on social media. So that's IG and Twitter. Obviously, if you're watching us on Facebook, you've already found us. So
like us.
do that. And also, while you're at it, it kind of ties into our next guest. Go to your favorite podcast platform. Oh, that's another place you can actually like us too. So what I want you to do is go to your favorite podcast platform and find our show. Give us 5 stars and follow our show and be the first to subscribe to our podcast. It's new. Okay, I'll give you all a break. It's new.
Brand new.
But
It's brand new.
also while you're there, find Vet Pivot and give them a subscribe, 5 stars, and start listening to it because they're awesome. Great guests, week in, week out. Okay, he's got some iffy guests. He had me on. So let's just say earlier in his career, he didn't always find the best guest. He had me on, so that's always a problem. But just kidding. But our next guest, of course, is our Wednesday correspondent here to... We're going to talk about tips and tricks for getting employment, and then we're going to talk about some social do's and don'ts. We'll include Matt in this. What do you think, Jordan? Think we should?
I think we should. He's in the know.
No, he can tell us what you should post and what you shouldn't post on LinkedIn. So without further ado, Mr. Macachera. Matthew.
What's going on? Eric, Jordan, welcome back. Another Wednesday edition of the Pivot Panel here on To The Point.
He's good at this. Now I know who's
So
filling
good.
it. I can go on vacation now. Matt, you're in charge.
All right.
I like
I got
the
it from
pivot
you.
panel. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's good. It ties into what a little bit of what I have to promote today, but we'll get to that later. Obviously, Eric, you're in charge right now, or Jordan is.
No pressure.
By a woman. I'm like Jordan. You
Hey Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I got a haircut over
I
the
can
weekend.
see that.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
How did you get a haircut in quarantine?
Yeah, that's you know, I don't know. I don't want to divulge my sources because, you know, next
Secret.
thing you know, I got knocks on the door. The government wants to figure out where I went. But I had to get resourceful. I had a Floby, that's right. Yeah, it's like that episode of Wayne's World, right?
We're just killing
Boy, this
Eric
thing
today.
sucks.
I like it. And no beard. He lost the beard.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the caveman effect. I
New
like
look,
it.
right? I was going for 10 years younger, and I think I fell short to 7. So, but it's still better than 10 or 5. I don't know. Math's hard. Anyways,
Hey,
what are
this
these
is your
social
flat
do's
Wednesday
and-
with us.
yeah.
Because we're gonna, you know, we're moving you to Mondays now. You'll be joining us on but we're just, it's because we're moving to a new time. We're moving to,
Yes.
that's why it's kind of a preemptive commercial here. And while we're here, we might as well talk about it. I know we always tell you to smash that subscribe button. I love my radio voice I'm using
Hulk
right now.
smash it.
Hulk
Smash
smash it. Yes, Hulk smash it.
But remember, starting on Monday, June 1st, we will be on at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. You in the middle, figure it out. Again, there's only 2 coasts, so the ones in the middle, you just got to figure it out. I can do the
That's-
math for you, but
that's
we're not
right.
going to do it.
You can Google. It's okay. Don't be afraid.
But Matt
to
will
Google.
still be on the show. It's just
I'll still be
we're
here.
having fancy. We're doing hashtagging now, so Monday will be Military Monday. Woo-hoo, like the way we do that.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it. I like
Fancy.
it. That's nice.
Matt, I'll
Yeah.
miss you though. I won't be able to see you on Wednesdays anymore. But I'm gonna check in on military hashtag Military Monday.
Hashtag Military Monday.
Military
Tune
Monday.
in. Hashtag tune in. Hashtag don't miss it.
Hashtag vet pivot.
Hashtag vet pivot.
Hashtag subscribe.
pivot panels. Hashtag Hulk smash
Hulk
subscribe.
smash.
Yep, we got it all.
Right now, people are like, I'm no longer watching the show.
Like,
They
I
talk
quit.
about subscribing way too much.
All that needs to happen now though is that Matt's gotten a haircut. I've gone pink. So Eric, you have to get a haircut and then dye your beard pink. I feel like that's the only
That's the middle ground.
that's the middle ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen.
Working on the haircut thing. I am. I'm very loyal to my barber. I will admit,
Yeah.
Barber Jeff in the house. I will not cheat on him. I am loyal to him. I feel bad for him because a small story, and then we can get to Matt. Our county is one of 2 remaining that have not been signed off on by probably the worst governor in the country, Kate Brown.
Ooh.
We have no reason why she hasn't. We pass all the sniff tests to be phase 1. So for some reason, she hasn't. Now, she's lost a few court battles in the last week
I saw
as
that.
circuit courts have overruled her. In fact, the Supreme Court ordered the court that said that what she was doing was unconstitutional, ordered them to vacate their order. And that judge announced yesterday, I'm not vacating it. It's illegal what she's doing, and you could take this to the highest court in the land. So it's
Wow.
interesting, and you're seeing businesses off of that,
Yeah.
like opening now. They're like, screw it, we're opening. We'll take our chances.
I think you'll see more of that coming too, as far as the legal ramifications of what's been going on, and the governors are going to have to, I guess, pony up a little bit and go to battle.
It is funny in our country that some parts of our country, I understand, should not open quickly, but other parts that are well below anybody's data,
Yeah.
they should be open. I mean, we just had this weekend. I don't know if anybody follows me on social, but my family, we drove about 35 minutes from our house to McMinnville. I'll name drop them because they need all the business they can get. And we enjoyed a meal and we walked the streets, and it was great seeing people sitting in restaurants, drinking wine. We have some really good wine in the Willamette Valley, drinking wine and enjoying themselves. And it's the small businesses. And, you know, I don't want to go on another rant because I already had a good one this morning. But, you know, these guidelines for small businesses, we've got to keep our small businesses alive.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's all I care about. So we need to open up. The places that can't open up, we need to open up. And again, use common sense. If you don't think you should be out and that you could catch COVID, then stay home. But
Yeah. If you don't feel comfortable with it, right? Obviously, I agree 100%, Eric. This whole time in New Jersey, which I've been told is the epicenter. I think I've heard that 7 billion times since I've since the pandemic started. But I'm in the epicenter in New Jersey. But Lowe's has never been busier. Walmart, Target still open. So I don't understand to the extent that if you can get a small business that competes against those guys to follow the CDC guidelines, then why not let them be open, and why not let the citizen figure out whether or not it's worth taking the risk to go through those doors? It just it's a shame.
If Gary
but I
can
think
touch
it
all
comes
the
down to money a little bit, right? Who, I think probably Target pays a little more in the tax department than, some small business shop or something. So might be some monetary incentive for the state and for the governors to keep those doors open. Just saying.
People will speak up, but that's not what we have you here for. So
no, it's not. Sorry.
I'd like to cover what you, of course, are here for every week. I know unemployment is, of course, really high right now.
Yeah.
And what do you got for us this week covering this topic?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is get together my network of transitioning, experts, military transition experts, industry pivot experts, and put on live panels. So at the middle of June, on a Friday, we're going to be doing a live pivot panel where I'll have a couple experts that'll be on for 2 hours to answer questions, to discuss transition topics, to really get into some of the meat and potatoes of this subject so we can, help people, or at least use the Vet Pivot platform to help people. So it's very easy to go do that. All you have to do is sign up. Say you're going to the event, sign up for the updates on the Vet Pivot Facebook page, and you'll receive updates of when the event's going to be happening. But I want to do these every 3 weeks or so that have an opportunity to talk about some new stuff and help as many transition service members, or, as we've identified on the show, sometimes I'm helping people that have no military affiliation. So I just want to be able to have folks from, places like LinkedIn, Amazon, some other industries as well, to come on and talk how they are helping dispel the rumor that there's no jobs out there for veterans right now, because it's absolutely false. There are a lot of jobs and a lot of places hiring. You just got to know where to look and keep your eye out for the right opportunity. It's just a little slower, a little harder to get your foot in the door right now. It doesn't mean that people aren't hiring.
So we got a question for you, my friend.
Sure.
Two things for people to be aware of. One, Chris just asked the question, are these online or in person? And second, just so everybody knows, I just dropped a link in all of the social media, which was your outstanding article that was featured with a really small company called Oracle over the Memorial Day week. I thought it was very well written, my friend. Congratulations. But
Thank
for
you.
folks who don't read that, you do a great job doing that. But so to answer Chris's question, is it available online or in person?
It's gonna be online. I mean, let's pack the house, shut down the servers if we can, get as many people in there as possible, and bring your questions. Don't be afraid to raise your hand in one of these live segments and ask a question. If it doesn't get answered, obviously you can just engage offline, and I'll go through the comments and try to answer as many of those questions as I can, or put you in contact with resources that can answer them. So be in attendance, tell all your friends about it, because that's the right thing to do. You don't have to socially distance when it comes to a free online panel. So
just send us that link, Matt, when you have it, and we will share it here. And is it open to civilians?
Absolutely. All you have to do is go to the Vet Pivot Facebook page, which is open to the public. You can go on there. You can find the event. Say you're going, and I will make sure that the link gets out to everybody. I'm going to attach it through StreamYard so that everything just kicks off like it did with the live episode for episode 50.
Outstanding. So this is good information. I mean, what you're doing and having everybody available to do this, I think, is key. And it shows that we work together. It's what we've talked about. I know you and I have talked about this offline, but this separation that so many people put between veteran and civilian, I think is hogwash, and I really despise, and I'm using that word because I generally mean it when I say despise. I despise some of the folks in the veteran community that have this hatred towards the civilian community, like, oh, we're better. And it's like, dude, do you know what veteran means in Latin? Civilian. So it just is the same thing. It doesn't, you're one of us. So enjoy. And they should show up, and it's good. And do you have can you hint some of the folks that'll be on the panel?
I can hint. I'll give one. So
Besides
we'll have
you, that doesn't count. I mean,
I'll be there. Well, who else do you need to know? No, but Bo Higgins from Amazon has said that he's going to be on. I also have Herb Thompson, who said he's going to be on, and he wrote a book called it's Transition. Oh, I'm sorry, Mission Transition. Matt Lewis is the other one. So that's the book that I'm talking about. So those three folks for sure, working on a fourth and fifth panelist at the moment from a couple other companies. I don't want to give anything away because it's not set in stone yet, but very excited about the opportunity to have some really powerful people in the field and folks that can actually help make some moves for you. So bring your questions, be ready for that, really good discussion on veteran transition.
So we'll do it probably next week.
Okay.
But we'll do it now. I want to get your feedback on it because I think it's important and kind of goes with this. But do's and don't on social media. LinkedIn is one of those interesting places where you should use it. It's very powerful. But some people mistake LinkedIn as the same thing as your Facebook or your IG. It is neither. So, can't be on there. And we know the people who go on there and they are some of the content. You're just like, dude, you are just thirsty. You're just thirsty. You're just looking for the clicks and the views. That's not engagement. So what are your tips to folks who go on there and they're new to it? A lot of people, it's a resume platform. It's just my living resume. It's not. But what are your do's and don'ts, just real quick, that you could give, like top 5 do's and don'ts by Matt Kuchera from Vet Pivot that you should do on LinkedIn? Ooh, like this.
Let me drop a few top 5 here. Okay. So number 1, if you're a veteran, lose the military photo. You've probably heard this already. So lose the military photo, find something in professional attire and smile. Okay. Show people your pearly whites. If you got no pearly whites, then maybe just do the awkward, 8-year-old smile. You're like, that's whatever you got to do, but at least give an effort to show a smile. No one wants to see stoic, stone-faced killer. That's not a good look for trying to do any kind of networking. And that brings me to my next point is that LinkedIn is for networking. It's not a resume machine. It's not there, so you can take. It's there to do a give and take, relationship building with professionals. The third tip would be it is with professionals. So in that regard, it's not for your rants. It's not for memes. It's not for, videos. It's for, sharing insights on what you are good at and learning from people who are better than you at what you want to be good at. And then on top of that, treat the conversation or dialogue as if you were in the workplace. The fourth thing is you got to put content out there, original content. Don't just reshare a bunch of articles. Go out, provide some thought that is authentic and organic to your brain and not someone else's. That is one way that you will turn people away from your LinkedIn account, is if you're giving other people's advice to through your account. That's not a good look. And then lastly, go and engage in other people's comments, their organic content, engage with them, ask questions. That's really what you're trying to do, is start a dialogue so that you build a relationship, and with the understanding that you're planting seeds. At some point, one of those may become a tree in your life. So just make sure that you're out there engaging with people, talking with people, being professional, trying to learn and grow yourself. There, it's 5. I think it was 5.
Dropping knowledge bombs right now.
Wow, that was good. I like that. I have a good feeling that might appear on LinkedIn in a video from me. I don't know. Might.
I like it.
I like it a lot. And just so you know, Matt, producer Chris just let me know while you were going that he has shared your link on all the places that you find our show currently, so Arizona AZ Metro, as well as our show and a few other groups that he belongs to. So you're going to have a good little audience. We're going to do our part. Again, if you want to know more about Matt's upcoming panel, make sure you head over to Vet Pivot or check any of our platforms we're at. We'll actually have it included in post-production. You'll be able to find it in our YouTube link, so you can click it and be part of it, because you don't want to miss these panels. Matt puts together the best of the best. I can tell you, just the pure name of having somebody from Amazon there is amazing. I know that Vet Pivot has some amazing connections with our friends at LinkedIn and elsewhere, that if you are a veteran or even a civilian that wants to get a job, talk to the people who are hunting for jobs and getting jobs. They're really good. So
awesome.
awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
But
yeah,
dude,
thanks, producer Chris. That guy's
really
awesome.
I love your Fresh Five, man. Those are
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, those are
Right.
that's like, the basics, the basics of LinkedIn. Don't violate these 5 rules. Otherwise you'll struggle.
real bad.
Yep.
So, well, we thank you, Bud, for coming on this week with us again, and we'll
Thank
see you,
you.
of course, next week. And remember, before you go, well, not before you go, but everybody else out there, head over to wherever you listen to podcasts, or you could just go to Vet Pivot and find their podcast platform and click subscribe to make sure you follow them so you don't miss. You guys drop your episodes every Monday?
Mondays and Thursdays. So 2 a week. Dropping one tomorrow. It's going to be a good one.
Nice.
So go check those out. Make sure you subscribe, give your comments and reviews, and go follow Vet Pivot on Facebook for dang sure you don't want to miss anything there. So thanks, Matt, for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Bye.
We did it. I didn't have a stroke. Everybody was worried I was going to have
No. That was fun. The whole
So-
thing on energy today. I liked it.
Matt just finishes it strong with the 5 tips for LinkedIn, which I think are important. So many people don't understand
Yes.
LinkedIn. I know we were going to do our do's and don'ts, but we have plenty of time to do do's and don'ts for folks. But real fast, what's your number one tip not to do on anything on social media? Like if you could pick one platform that you see people violate.
Oh gosh, I have so much to say about Facebook and LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn I'm just gonna keep going with, because to me, I use LinkedIn professionally. I think the biggest overall rule with all social media is please be specific while you're on there, and don't treat every single platform like a dating site. I think that would be, understand the relationships you're trying to build on each platform, because it could make or break you if you say something wrong, and you never know if the person you're going to say something to is someone you're going to be working for or working with. So just be very conscious. I can't speak English today. Be very aware of how you present yourself and who you're talking to.
And mine, just one of the many I have, but my pet peeve, because I'm on Instagram a lot. I love IG.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting links inside of your
Oh my
post.
God, your posts. Just
You
stop.
cannot click the links in Instagram. Mom, I love you. Stop doing it.
Oh gosh, just stop
can pick up
putting it in
Twitter.
there.
There's a lot of people. Trust me. There's a lot of violators that people just drop their links in there, and I'm like, my favorite are when they're
Click it.
experts. They're social media experts, and they do it. You're like,
Also, tag people as many times as you can. Don't just tag them. Don't just say their name. Tag them in your posts. Tag them in your photos. We're all guilty of it, but tag them. If just once, tag them, because some of these platforms we can't put links to other platforms, so we have to tag them where we can. Tag them, because we're not going to know where you're sharing to. It looks like you're just talking into the ether that is social media.
and my other pet peeve that we can finish with is you should always subscribe to the point on YouTube. You should be subscribed.
Yes.
If you're watching our show and you haven't subscribed, come on, you're killing me, Smalls.
You need to subscribe on YouTube. You need to like and share on Facebook. You need to, I'm going to point at you. I'm talking to all of you. You need to like the Instagram and follow at To The Point TV. And make sure that you also annoy Eric, whose freaking profile is right next to his name right now. You should be following that, where you could find out more about To The Point and get a preview into all the guests for next week and this week.
Always for weeks ahead.
All the weeks ahead, just forever and ever.
And just so you know, if you follow us on IG, you can go look at our stories also. And I might be doing IG stories during our broadcast. I might.
I know.
am.
You might
might.
get notifications and your phone's on do not disturb, and then you get to see all the things that are happening while you're talking.
It's so
They
true.
hate. I'm so ready for the haters today. I'm like, she's not even paying attention.
At least you're loud today, so we won't make complaints. You're loud.
Thank you. I really was trying.
Also, not Fox News. So
Yes.
glad that we learned that last week. Thank you for the viewer who called me to tell me you're not Fox News, and I was like, thank God. I mean, I would like to have Rupert Murdoch's money. I would. I'm not gonna lie.
Just a little
But I
bit.
don't want to be Fox News. I'm good with not being Fox News. But we have a good show for you tomorrow. As everyone knows, Thursdays are our first responders veteran episodes. Tomorrow's our last Thursday. Do flip the script on you guys. On Mondays, our military Mondays. Tuesday, we're going to be mixing cooking and sports. Wednesday will be the same show you're watching right now, just us. Hello. Thursdays, we're going to talk about a little catch-all of everything. And then Fridays, it's myself and the awesome co-host Pavlina Asta joining us. This Friday, we have the one and only Joy Villa. And from the Reagan administration, we have James Rosenbush. So we're going to talk to a senior advisor to the Reagan administration, who, in my opinion, was one of the greatest presidents of our time. Hands down, President Reagan did an amazing job, I think, on both sides of the house. A lot of people agree. President Reagan, he's quite quotable, quite likable, and just did amazing things for our country. So I'm excited to have them on the show on Friday. But remember, starting next week on Monday, June 1st, we'll be on at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So you don't want to miss the show. It's going to be good. I promise you. So we have that. So Jordan, I want to thank you again for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday. Are you going to be watching the SpaceX launch here in an hour?
I am. I'm going to, now that you told me about it. But also, I just want to plug in really quickly, in case you might forget next week's earlier time slot. If you subscribe, you can turn on those notifications to let yourself know that we're going to go live. And then it's going to be available to all of you beautiful people watching To The Point.
What she said.
We're
She's
just
absolutely
pointing.
I was trying to do it, but I forgot it's in reverse. So if I like you appear here, but you're really here, and that's just weird. Somebody was like, "Oh, you should talk this way when you talk to Jordan. That way, it looks like you're talking to her." I'm like, "That's just weird." It's like Brady Bunch stuff. But anyways, folks, we want to thank you for joining us on the behalf of Jordan, myself, Butch Seltzer, Madison Mitchell, and the man in the booth pushing the ones and the twos, producer Chris. Yay. And everybody out there, our loyal followers. Big shout out to Patrick McDonald for your always engaging comments on YouTube, because he subscribes.
Yes.
You don't want him to be the only person making comments. You got to make comments to be better than Patrick. Challenge is thrown. Who's going to be Patrick? I do have a survey before everybody goes. Head over to our Twitter, To The Point TV, at To The Point TV on Twitter. The survey is there. I'd love to hear who you think won yesterday's round one of Jordan's favorite hashtag, the Triple Deuce Challenge. Chef Challenge. Jordan loves that hashtag, by the way. She'll rant later on how much she loves it. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. Of course, subscribe, like, share, do all those fun things that we've told you repeatedly to do today, like we do in every episode. I'm Eric Mitchell. That's Jordan Gelber. And be safe, be strong, be smart, and God bless America.